Hi, evolution has gifted us with an ability to survive from a very, very dangerous past until now. It's done so by giving all mammals 5 defensive survival states. These states are designed so that when we face danger, we survive. Some of these states you've heard of or are familiar with. Some you may be less familiar with. Today, I want to talk about freeze. Freeze is a state that a lot of people are less familiar with because it doesn't happen to them. The classic freeze, like this figure, eyes wide open, mouth agape, frozen, almost like a statue. The outside of the person is immobilized. They're not moving, they're barely breathing. But on the inside, they are activated like a volcano. They're having a panic attack. Their heart is beating through their chest. Often, it's beating so strong and so loud they can hear the blood rushing in their ears. Sweating, getting dizzy, muscles tensing up, losing feeling in the body. But from the outside, it looks like someone has just become a statue. You may notice in yourself some more subtle reactions of this freeze response. Say, for example, you're in a board meeting or an important presentation at work. And without warning, you're called on to give an update to the whole group. You may find that all of a sudden, thoughts and words leave your mind. You don't know where to start. You don't know what to talk about or the facts about them. You're experiencing a moment of freeze. You're not able to think clearly. You're not able to express anything. Or it's fumbling, because we're frozen. Again, doesn't seem like we're doing much on the outside, but if you've ever been in that position, your insides are really revved up. Freeze protects us when the options for fight or flight aren't available. We can't fight our way to safety and we can't run our way to safety. So then the option is, well, we'll just not do anything. We'll just stay still. I don't know what to do. In those moments, people don't feel like they're in control. They feel terribly frightened and terribly out of control and have no way of knowing how to get out of this state. If you've experienced trauma, then there's a likelihood you're more familiar with the freeze response, because it's a very common response when people encounter overwhelming and traumatic situations, especially ones where we can't run and we can't fight. Freeze is very common. You also may experience a cousin of the freeze state called shutdown. Shutdown is similar to freeze, but the outsides and the insides are closer together, meaning in shutdown, you tend to go to sleep. You tend like someone has given you a drug. You just can't keep your eyes open for another second. And in shutdown, in those moments, the body is much more quiet and the mind is almost basically off. That's an even more extreme state than freeze. And again, if you've had severe trauma, you'll be familiar with shutdown. We'll talk much more about shutdown and the ways of working with it in our upcoming program. While freeze is a really common experience for traumatized individuals, you'll also notice it occurring in children. If you're a parent and you've ever found yourself giving a directive or request to your child, or maybe yelling something at them, you'll see them freeze. Their body stiffens up, their face gets taut, their eyes get wide, and they're scared and they don't move. Now, if as a parent you're not understanding that, you're just assuming maybe they're being willfully disobedient. They're not listening to you. They're not doing what they should do. But if you can understand that in that moment they're frozen because their nervous system perceived a threat, whether it's real or not, they perceived a threat and they feel unsafe and they've moved into freeze. One thing you can do with a child who's in freeze is to be calming and soothing. It's okay. I'm sorry if I raised my voice. Little moments like that of some calming and soothing words offered lets the child know that they're safe, they're not in trouble. And you're not making them feel bad for freezing, which, by the way, if you do make a child or adult feel bad for freezing, it only prolongs the freezing because it's taken in as the nervous system as another insult, another danger. So if you'd like to help a child move out of freeze, the best thing you can do is to become regulated yourself and offer some soothing to that child. What we know from our work over the last 15 years with trauma is that these states, including freeze and shutdown, are part of what causes the most suffering for trauma survivors. And we know that by doing the work, learning how to identify states and learning how to become more flexible in our nervous system reaction instead of just getting stuck and hijacked by our defensive states, leads to true freedom, leads to the end of feeling that life is an ongoing nightmare. So if you'd like to learn more about this, about how to work with your states, then please check out our upcoming program. In it, you will learn how to navigate your nervous system, how to embody safety, and be a healing presence. I hope you'll join me.